Hi BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. Sorry, I don't know how to say her last name. This is a book, a haunted house story, and our main character is set in Mexico, and our main character is Beatrice. So years ago, when Beatrice was a little girl, her father was convicted of treason against Mexico, and so it's just her and her mom were left penniless, and they are forced to go live with relatives that don't want them. And so when Beatrice is of legal age, wanting to protect her mother, make sure she has security, Beatrice agrees to marry someone, and that someone is Rodolfo. But unfortunately, her mom doesn't really approve of this marriage because she's not marrying him for love, and he is of the side of the enemy. The people who were the reason her father was killed. But she agrees to marry Rodolfo, who lives in this mysterious, huge, large estate. And he had been married before, but his previous wife had died mysteriously. No one knows how she died. There's all these rumors about how she died. And basically, Rodolfo's sister doesn't want her there. The servants are a little wary of her and don't trust Beatrice. And there's not exactly any comforting feelings between her and Rodolfo. And the house starts to unsettle her, and weird things start to happen. Really, a lot of creepy things. She keeps seeing these red eyes watching her. She feels like someone's watching her. Doors slam on their own. The house is very drafty, and there's the north. She's told she cannot go near the north wing. There was like some kind of like disaster there, or like bad weather or something. And she starts to suspect that maybe Rodolfo's first wife hasn't left the house, even though she is dead. And there's also a subplot of this young man who was a priest in town, Andres, and he's also a witch. But he has to keep that secret because this is during a time when people are still very superstitious and see Wicca as very much devil worship. So, and if people know, they will burn him for it. He will be cast out. And Beatrice, who senses this spirit in this house and something wrong with that, she goes to the priest, and Andres, who has a connection to the house actually, agrees to help her cleanse the house, give it an exorcism. This was a really good, very creepy, unsettling, nerve-wracking atmosphere that, just keeps building and building the tension. There's, you're almost, as you're reading, you're almost uncomfortable because you're, just as uncomfortable as Beatrice because the house doesn't like her. Hannah doesn't like her. And there's, like, the servants, you feel like they're keeping something from her. Like, they know things that could help her, but they don't. They know they can't help her. And it's just so, the tension just makes it uncomfortable, and, you're biting your lip wondering what's going to happen. Is Beatrice going to be okay? And I also really like that there's actual supernaturalness to the story. Sometimes haunted house stories go with the whole, like, maybe the house isn't actually haunted, but maybe it's, the person's just crazy, that they have mental health issues, that they're just imagining it, and that there's something actually, like, more literal going on, like a rational explanation. It kind of disappoints me when there's no actual supernatural thing going on, and so I like how there actually is a supernatural aspect going on, and then there's, like, she has to actually go to a priest to exorcise the house because there really is something going on. There's, like, a demon in this house. Um, and Beatrice is very likable. You definitely felt sympathy for her, and you kind of understood her and why she married this guy, even though she didn't love him. Because what other choice did she have? Her relatives didn't want her and her mom. They had no money. And she is the daughter of a man who was considered a traitor. And there's even this comment where this woman compares Beatrice to the previous wife, Catalina, and this woman tells her that you both are pretty, but you're a little darker than her. It's like, really nice. That's just nice. We didn't have as much with Rodolfo. Like some of the stories I've read that have the similar kind of themes and plots. The guy has more. The guy the woman marries plays a bigger role. He's more involved, but he's kind of absent. Rodolfo's absent from the story, but Andres kind of takes his place as a potential love interest for Beatrice because there's like a bit of romantic tension between them. There's trust that builds between them and comfort because and which it's funny because she doesn't she's not certain she can trust the priest, the church, but she trusts Andres because he gives her, he makes her feel secure and makes her feel protected, that he actually cares and wants to help and is capable of helping. And when she finds out she's a witch, he's all expecting her to, turn away and cast him and be like, you're a witch, you're gonna burn. But actually, she's like accepts it. It's like, just says it as a statement. And is perfect, and because she trusts, like I said, she trusts him. She knows, her society tells her she should fear him and shouldn't trust him, but she ignores that, and she does because he has shown nothing but kindness and hasn't done nothing but helped her. And of course, we, the reader, know he has genuinely helped her. It's not him manipulating her or that his help comes at a price. It's genuine. He's genuinely trying to help her with good reason, And there's also, like I said, he has a connection to the house. Like, you find out that he was banished from this house, and this is his family's land. But he's, so it is rightfully his home. So there is some, there's racism, and there is some racism in this. Like I said, one of the women, and there's, I guess you consider it classism too. Where the woman, like I said, the woman tells her, oh, you're pretty like the other one, but you're a little darker. Like that little underhanded compliment. It's like, it makes me, grind my teeth a little bit because, and roll my eyes. And, I almost felt, I did kind of feel bad for Hannah too. Because, she's a woman who can't own property, can't own this property. Only her brother can own it. And it's not like she can marry her brother. That would, but. So you kind of feel bad for her too, even though she kind of is a bitch to, Beatrice. But they're both the flip side of the same desire of wanting to survive and wanting to just live and be free. They both want the same thing. It's just their approaches are very different, and you kind of feel sorry for both of them. So I also liked the writing. It was very beautiful writing, very a little flowery, poetic, but not like too much, not like purple prose or anything. It was just. You could picture everything, you could see it all, and just and I was very much engaged in the story. And it did feel a little bit like a cross between Rebecca and Jane Eyre in ways, and I think I've heard the author was inspired by it. Like, I think when I saw this being advertised for a Book of the Month pick, I remember people said in the review that you could compare it to those books, or that it was inspired by those books. It does have that similar feel to it. with the whole haunted, creepy house, and a husband that's a little bit very formal and very stiff, and seems like very hot and cold at times. Although, like I said, Beatrice doesn't marry him for love. She doesn't fall in love with him or anything. And another story that came to mind was of a haunted house story that came to mind was Crimson Peak. Although I think but in that one, the guy is a little nicer, a lot more warm, and kinder. And I'm trying to remember his Thomas, which I don't know why whenever I think about the movie I always forget his name. I shouldn't forget it because he's played by Tom Hiddleston, so same first name. I don't know why I can never remember that the character's name is Thomas. But but Thomas and Rodolphe are very different from each other. It's just the whole premise, like with Jane Eyre, Rebecca, the Hacienda reminds me of it, except for it's set in Mexico. And I love that I'm enjoying reading my books set in Mexico. I always like that part of the world. I always like those kinds of, not the whole, anyway, not, I want to learn more about that country and see more history that takes place in that country. Like, I remember I really loved the movie Zorro, and that is also, it's the same, that's also in Mexico / California, I think. It's the same kind of like, I always like that setting as well, learning about reading stories because I feel like I've been so sad. I've read so much, and I love European literature. I really do. I still really love it, but I would like to, I definitely want to work on reading more diversely and reading about countries, because sometimes I have a hard time picturing these other countries during the same era as like medieval Europe or Renaissance Europe, or even like America during that time. I do know there was a comment on here. One of you guys left a comment making a suggestion for me. I have to find it. I did respond to it last night, so I have to find that comment so I can write the name of that book she suggested to me. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to write that so that I can look it up. But anyway, this was really enjoyable. Like I said, very atmospheric, very creepy, great haunted house story. There is some romance in this. It's kind of a forbidden love kind of romance. I like that, but I like that it didn't take away from the rest of the plot of her trying to survive this house and the previous wife, along with possibly her new sister-in-law too. And we also got a lot of culture, like a lot of the food, and that was really good. It definitely made me hungry for it, Anyway, so I think this was a great haunted house story and I think you guys, people that like haunted house stories, might enjoy this. So that is my review of The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. I wish I could pronounce. I need to hear how it's pronounced, because even if I look, even if I look it up, I might not remember. So I should look up on YouTube, see if I can find other people's reviews of this. I can maybe hear the pronunciation. Anyway, so if you guys like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification below if you want to be notified when I post my latest videos. And I hope you're enjoying your reading, and I will talk to y'all later. Alright, bye!